Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about player housing. Yes, player housing is finally coming to World of Warcraft extremely soon, and in this video we're going to talk about everything that you need to know about player housing in World of Warcraft. After 20 years, it's finally happening. But before we jump into everything that you need to know, guys, I do want to give a massive thank you to all of our channel members and everyone over on the Patreon. Just started posting over there fairly regularly with channel updates and things of that nature, and if you want to support the channel in that way, I'll leave a link down below. Right, so yes, player housing is finally coming to World of Warcraft. This was announced back in November 2024 with a small teaser showing off that it's coming in midnight, and it turns out it is actually coming in patch 11.27 of the War Within with early access. So let's talk about that. So the release date for player housing for people who have pre-ordered midnight, so this is from the base edition upwards, will have access to player housing on December 2nd in the NA region and December 3rd on the EU. This coincides with the launch of patch 11.27, which also has a ton of other features, but of course, housing is kind of a big part of that. Now, if you don't have midnight pre-ordered, don't worry, you will be able to go into the neighborhood areas and other people's houses. You just won't be able to purchase a house until you've upgraded to the midnight expansion. That's a great segue to go into our first section, which is buying a house. So per account, everybody can own 2 houses. One in the Alliance neighborhood, which is called Founders Point, which is a Elwyn Forest inspired zone with elements of Duskwood and Westfall, and just kind of a 2025 remaster of Elwyn, and it looks fantastic. The other neighborhood zone is the Horde zone, and that is Razorwind Shores. This is a kind of Durotar inspired zone with elements of Ashara. Now, it's worth noting here that Alliance and Horde can both go to these areas without being attacked or being hostile or anything like that. These are just open to everyone, but yeah, they are kind of like aesthetically based off of Alliance and Horde. Now, in each of these neighborhoods, there's around 50 plots to choose from, and you can just choose where you want to live from a UI. You can click each plot and kind of inspect it if you really want to, and once you've chosen where you want to live, you can purchase a house in the area, and that's going to cost you 1,000 gold. Now, if you ever want to move house, or you're not happy with your plot or where you live, you can just move for free to anywhere you like, using the UI once again, and that does move all of your decor and designs that you've done on your previous plot, which is nice. So let's talk a little bit more about these neighborhood areas. So if you want to port to these neighborhoods, you could just use the portals in the Stormwind and Orgrimmar portal rooms, or you can use a new button on the housing UI, which is teleport to plot. This will take you straight to your housing plot on the selected house that you have open. You can switch the view of a house at any time by using the drop down, and you can also use that teleport to plot button to teleport back to where you were before you teleported, which is really cool. You can fly in both of the neighborhoods as well. So yeah, you can just use your skyriding and fly around and have a look at everybody's houses and things like that while you're there, which is really nice. And as mentioned, this is available to everybody. You don't need to have midnight to have a look around these areas. So there are 2 types of neighborhoods you can live in. You can live in a public neighborhood or a private neighborhood. So let's start by talking about public neighborhoods. So these are created by the game for anyone to choose a plot and purchase a house inside. As more and more people place their house inside them, more are created by the server. These neighborhoods are named by a semi-procedural generated name, so you don't get to choose the name of your neighborhood. And if you're really dedicated to a specific plot in a specific neighborhood, you can actually just scroll through the different neighborhoods until you find one that has that plot available for you to live in, and you can move your house there if you like. The other type of neighborhood is a private neighborhood. So this can be a guild or a charter neighborhood. So for guild neighborhoods, these are set out by the guild leader, and you can have as many people as you need inside these neighborhoods, as it will have attached instances. So if you go over 50, it'll spring up another instance of that same neighborhood with another 50 plots. So basically, you'll never run out of plots with a guild neighborhood, which is really nice. You'll just have different versions of the same neighborhood with the same plots and things like that. There doesn't seem to be a ton of guild management in regards to neighborhood stuff. I believe if you get kicked from the guild, you also do get kicked from the neighborhood, which obviously makes sense. And the neighborhood area is actually based off of the guild leader's faction. So if you have an Alliance guild leader, the area that your neighborhood will be based in will be Founders Point, and the same for the Horde. I don't think you can swap guild leaders to change the area or anything like that. I believe this is sort of a kind of hard-coded thing in the game, and it goes without saying that these guild neighborhoods will be private to just the guild. As far as I'm aware, people from outside the guild won't be able to visit your guild neighborhood. However, if you are in a guild neighborhood and you have alt adults that aren't in that guild, you will be able to go to your house and visit the neighborhood and things like that. Just one of your characters needs to be in the guild. The other type of private neighborhood is a charter neighborhood. So these can be set up by anyone and will need people to live in them to keep them active due to technical concerns. So they don't want people making charter neighborhoods for like just themselves, basically. Now, you can name this whatever you like, obviously within TOS. So yeah, don't go too crazy with that. And you will need 10 people to sign a charter to start it. Now, these are limited to 50 people. It's not going to spring up different instances. These charter neighborhoods will be limited to 50. Now, to set up a charter neighborhood, it's super easy. You could just talk to the steward NPC in the neighborhood, and then you just get people to sign it, and then they come and live in your neighborhood. Kind of think of it like a community neighborhood of things. So if you have like a streamer who wants to set up a charter neighborhood, they can do that with their community, which is really cool, without having to set up a whole guild and things like that. So yeah, neighborhoods, pretty exciting. There is also endeavors happening in neighborhoods. I'll have a completely separate video on that. That is currently in testing on beta and will not be in the early access of housing. So keep an eye out for a full video going over the endeavors system, which is kind of another layer to neighborhoods, but you're not going to see that in early access. Let's move on to your house. So once you've purchased your house, there are a bunch of things you can do with this house. The first one is house settings. So you can actually change the owner of your house. Basically, what I mean by that is what public name will be shown when people kind of mouse over your house on the map and things like that. So if you have like a specific character that you're known by, you can make that character the owner of the house. However, that doesn't really change anything apart from really just the name of it. Another thing you could do with your house is set permissions on who can access the outside and the inside of your house. You could limit this to just neighbors, to guildies, to friends, to party members, or just open it up to everybody. If it is limited, a player will be ported away from your plot, so they can't just come and intrude your space if you have made it a little bit more private. Now, to progress your house, there is actually a leveling system. So each of your houses will have its own progression bar, which is account-wide. As of beta, there are 6 levels to this, but you would imagine this is going to go up over time. There's going to be probably endless levels by the end of this as they update player housing. Once you reach the end of a level, you can speak to the house upgrade NPC in your neighborhood to move up to the next level. Now, to gain XP on your house, you could do this by collecting decor for the first time. You'll get like a collection bonus, or you can level it through doing endeavors, which will come later on. Now, for each level unlock, it's kind of like a renown bar of sorts. You'll see increases to interior budget. This is the amount of things you can place inside your house, so that's going to go up as you level your house. You're also going to increase the amount of rooms you can place, and you can also unlock various room types of different sizes, shapes, and even custom rooms like skybox rooms, which have been added recently, which do look fantastic. So that's all kind of the house settings and leveling and things like that. Let's talk about actually building it. Let's talk about customizing your house, starting with the exterior. So customizing the exterior design of your house will use a similar design to the barbershop. Now, don't be fooled, there is a lot of customization here. So things you can customize are things like the house type. These have different designs for Alliance and Horde neighborhoods. For the Alliance neighborhood, you have the choice of having a human house, and for the Horde, you'll have the choice of having a orc house. Now, Night Elf and Blood Elf designs are coming. They will be coming on the actual launch of Midnight. This was confirmed on Twitter. You can also adjust the house size and the base style. This is kind of the design of the exterior walls. You can also change up the roof style of your house and the roof color. And there are also several different fixture points that you can put certain things on. So on like the lower walls, you can place different windows or move the entryway and choose different colors and designs of that entryway. And on the roof, you can add dormers, towers, chimneys, and all sorts of attachments to really make your house unique. And you would imagine over time, we're going to get more and more options to this as they develop player housing. So I mentioned the word decor. Let's talk about decor. So collecting decor is going to be a big part of patch 11.27 and beyond. So even if you do not have Midnight pre-ordered, you can start collecting decor items for your player house. Now, decor comes from literally everywhere. It comes from vendors, quests, achievements, dungeons and raids, reputation. You can also craft decor. There's also a new ability coming with player housing to collect a new resource called lumber from trees around the world. So yeah, you're literally going to be able to harvest trees from around the world. Each expansion has a different type of lumber, and basically you can just fly around and collect it from different trees in different zones. And this resource is used to create decor through crafting. It's not something you can buy and sell on the auction house. It is going to be a warbound item, which you have to go out and collect. This is not a profession. It's simply just a a new ability. And there's also an in-game catalog that shows off all the decor available, and you can even track some of it, so it'll tell you exactly where to purchase it or where to get it from a drop and things like that. So very, very good. You can also inspect decor on vendors as well, which is great. So if you do want to see what something looks like before you purchase it, that's a great way to do it. Now, a lot of the vendor and reputation stuff is going to use older currency. So basically, we're going to be out in the world collecting a lot of decor and farming a lot of like order hall resources and things like that. So once you've got all your decor, let's talk about placing it. So moving into your plot will bring up a brand new UI. Pressing the edit house button at the top will change your entire UI into the house edit mode. This switches up all your bars and UI ready to place decor. Now, decor items are stored in the house chest. This is opened on the left-hand side of your screen. You can search this list, you can filter this list, and there's also a number on the decor letting you know how many of a certain decor you have. Yeah, so basically when you collect a piece of decor, you have one of that decor. Basically, if you wanted a table and 4 chairs, you would have to purchase 1 table and 4 chairs from a vendor, and once you place those 4 chairs, that uses up those 4 chairs. If you want more chairs, you'll have to go out and collect more, but it does put it back in the house chest if you do remove it. So if there's something from a dungeon you want to use multiple times, you're going to have to run that dungeon multiple times to get multiple pieces of decor. This is not my favorite part of it, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of that, but apparently that's how other games work and people are pretty happy about that. So yeah, basically if you want more decor, you have to go and collect it or purchase it to be able to put more around your house. So I alluded to it earlier, but house budgets. So the inside and the outside actually have different house budgets, and these are just basically the amount of things you can place. The outside is always going to be set to 200, and this is just due to technical limitations. You know, if it was a ridiculous amount of things, the zone would probably lag because it is just an open zone. You can see kind of people's outsides of their house. Now, the inside of the house can go up to over 2,000, but will likely go higher, and this is increased by just leveling your house, as I mentioned earlier. Now, each decor item has a different house budget amount, with most of them being 1, but some of them going up to 5, depending on the size of it, which makes sense. So placing decor in your house does feel amazing. So basically, you select the decor from the house chest, and you can place it wherever you want. You can use the key bindings to change how you place it. You can make it so it snaps to the grid so it won't clip with anything and kind of place perfectly, or you can enable clipping and make it clip through walls or through the floor or anything like that. And you can have a lot of creativity with that, and you can just switch that up whenever you like. Now, once it's placed, you can enter advanced mode. This mode is really how you're going to position some of these decor items to fit perfectly how you like. You can move them up and down and side to side using the UI, or you could rotate it however you like on various axes. And you can also resize it. You can make something massive, you can make something small if you really like to. I moved my front door to be really, really small, like a mouse door, and put it on my desk. You can do that if you really want to, and that makes it usable as well. You could also go deeper into customization on some decor with dyes. So you can enter the customization mode by pressing 3 by default. Now, clicking an eligible decor item will bring up a list of dye slots that you can change. Now, you will need to acquire dye items to be able to use them, and they're consumed on use. Now, there are a couple of different ways to acquire dyes. The easiest for most people is just to purchase them on the auction house. However, dyes are actually crafted by inscription or alchemy, and these can be created by crafting pigment items using a choice of loads of different herbs, and these don't actually require any skill level. And these are crafted in the neighborhood area at a crafting table. So if you have an alt with inscription or alchemy at any level, you'll be able to craft dyes for yourself or sell them on the auction house. Dyes can also be used from the war bank, so you could fill your entire war bank with dyes and just use them on any of your characters when changing the color of some of your decor items. So let's finish up by talking about rooms in your player house. So you can expand the size of your house interior with adding rooms. There are loads of room sizes and shapes that you can attach to each room through the UI. These rooms can freely be moved at any time, and if they have decor placed in them, it'll actually retain the decor placement, which is fantastic. As I said, there are different unique rooms like skybox rooms, which can be unlocked through leveling up your house, and also, as I mentioned earlier, the amount of rooms that can be placed can also be expanded by leveling your house. You can also add different levels to your house using stairs and things like that. There's just a lot of freedom in the room system. And you can also change up the style of these rooms as well. With the customization mode, you can change the floor with the floor material with several different options like Belemeth hardwood, flagstone, rugged wood. You can even have like a Silvermoon style. You can also customize the wall design with tons of different colors and designs that you can do. And of course, the ceiling in your player house as well. So yeah, and you can make that design kind of go across the entire room as well with a handy little button tons. You know, if you just wanted to be like a silver moon design, you can apply that and that will apply it to the entire room. So yeah, tons of different customization there with your rooms. Yeah. That is player housing in World of Warcraft. Now, full disclosure here, I've never really played with any player housing in an MMO before, or really any other game apart from like maybe The Sims. So yeah, this is all new to me. I'm not hugely excited about creating my own house, but I am very excited to see what other people create. Some of the houses that have been like posted online and things like that are absolutely insane. There's already guides to like making waterfalls and lakes and things using different decor items in very interesting ways. And from what I've heard, the player housing system in World of Warcraft is extremely solid. And you got to remember, this is the first iteration. We are going to get tons of updates. This is an evergreen feature to the game that is just going to change over time and just hopefully just get better and better. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the neighborhood system with endeavors. As mentioned, video coming out for that as soon as it's kind of ready for being shown off on the beta, as we kind of have a bare bones version of it right now. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you're excited for player housing. What are you going to be building? Where are you going to be building? Where are you going to be living? Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT. And I have a partner Discord channel as well. And I'm also streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Midnight Beta, any sort of WoW, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.